Every night as you lie in bed waiting for sleep to embrace you, something mysterious happens. Reality begins to shift. Perhaps you've heard whispers that seem to come from nowhere, seen sudden flashes of vivid imagery, or felt an unseen presence nearby. These surreal moments are both deeply familiar, yet undeniably strange, and they happen to nearly everyone at some point in life. But have you ever wondered what's truly going on in those fleeting moments between wakefulness and sleep? This fascinating and elusive phase is called the hypnagogic state. At first glance, it might seem like nothing more than the brain drifting into dreams. Neuroscience tells us that during this transitional state, the rational, logical parts of your brain quiet down, while sensory and emotional centers stay vividly awake. This unique combination creates an environment where dreams and reality blur, sparking hallucinations, distortions of time, and strange sensations that defy everyday logic. Yet, this scientific explanation might not be the full story. Throughout history, cultures worldwide have recognized the hypnagogic state as something extraordinary, perhaps even mystical. Spiritual traditions, from Tibetan dream yoga to shamanic vision quests, have long viewed this twilight moment as a gateway to deeper layers of consciousness, hidden dimensions of reality, or even spiritual realms. In this video, we'll explore the fascinating science behind the hypnagogic state, dive into its mysterious and universal phenomena, and challenge our conventional understanding of consciousness itself. Could this strange nightly occurrence hold clues about the true nature of your mind? As we unravel this captivating mystery together, I invite you to keep an open mind. Because what if those few brief moments before you drift away are not just random quirks of the brain, but glimpses of something much more profound? If exploring the mysteries of consciousness and reality intrigues you, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications, because our journey into the unknown is just beginning. As you drift towards sleep, the boundaries between logic and imagination become surprisingly porous. The scientific community refers to this curious twilight zone as the hypnagogic state, a distinctive transition marked by measurable shifts in brain function. In this brief but profound period, the brain undergoes fascinating neurological changes, sparking sensations and perceptions that feel vividly real, even as external reality fades away. Neuroscientists studying hypnagogia have observed consistent patterns in brainwave activity. During wakefulness, alpha waves 8 to 12 Hz dominate, signaling calm, alert thinking. But as the body prepares to sleep, these alpha waves gradually diminish, replaced by slower theta waves, 4 to 7 Hz, which signal a relaxed, imaginative state linked to dreaming and creativity. This transition indicates that the analytical and rational prefrontal cortex, the brain's decision-making hub, is steadily disengaging, allowing other regions responsible for emotional processing and sensory experiences to come forward. This neurological shift helps explain the striking sensory phenomena many people experience at sleep's edge. Sudden bursts of sound, glimpses of faces, or sensations like floating and falling are common hallmarks of hypnagogia. Neuroscientists attribute these experiences to sensory brain areas remaining partially active, even though the body has started to relax. Essentially, your brain creates vivid internal stimuli as external input fades, resulting in hallucinations that, despite their fleeting nature, feel entirely tangible. Additionally, research highlights a common distortion of time perception during hypnagogia. Studies from the University of Cambridge found that individuals often perceive events in this state as lasting significantly longer than their actual duration. For instance, a sensation lasting mere seconds can feel like an extended experience. This distortion reflects changes in neural processing and memory integration, suggesting the brain may lose its usual reference points for time when transitioning between conscious states. Memory and subconscious processing also become uniquely active during hypnagogia. Recent studies propose that the theta wave state isn't merely a passive transition. Rather, it might play a vital role in memory consolidation and subconscious pattern recognition. Experiments at the Max Planck Institute demonstrated that participants who entered this theta-rich state showed enhanced creative problem-solving abilities upon awakening, suggesting that hypnagogia serves as a subtle cognitive workspace where ideas, memories, and subconscious patterns interconnect in unexpected ways. Yet, despite these scientifically backed explanations, certain aspects of hypnagogia defy neat categorization. For instance, researchers acknowledge, but cannot fully explain, why countless individuals worldwide report remarkably similar visions, sensations, or auditory phenomena during this transitional state. While sensory hallucinations might seem random, these shared experiences challenge the notion that hypnagogia is simply neurological noise. Indeed, the phenomenon raises intriguing questions that science alone cannot conclusively answer. Is the universal nature of these sensations evidence of deeply rooted neural structures, or might it hint at dimensions of consciousness that we have yet to fully comprehend? Such questions remain at the forefront of ongoing research. Though neuroscience has mapped the mechanisms underpinning hypnagogia, its broader significance, why humans across cultures encounter nearly identical experiences at the edge of sleep, continues to intrigue and puzzle researchers alike. When people describe their experiences in the hypnagogic state, striking similarities emerge, transcending individual differences, cultures, and even eras. Researchers have found that regardless of background, people often report hearing whispers, indistinct voices, or even their names softly called as they approach sleep. Science labels these episodes auditory hallucinations, yet struggles to explain why they follow such consistent patterns. A 2014 study published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience suggests these auditory sensations result from partial activation of brain areas linked to speech recognition and memory. But that only explains part of the story. Across cultures, another common hypnagogic experience involves sensing a mysterious presence nearby, often accompanied by glimpses of shadowy figures or faint outlines of humanoid shapes. Such experiences are so frequent and consistent, they've earned their own category in sleep research, the sensed presence phenomenon. While neurological research from institutions like MIT links this phenomenon to temporary disruptions in the temporoparietal junction, a region involved in perceiving bodily boundaries, such explanations fall short of fully accounting for the widespread nature of these shared experiences. Cultural folklore adds another layer of complexity. Newfoundland folklore describes the old hag, a presence pressing down on sleepers at the threshold of sleep. Similar stories span the globe, from the Kanashibari spirit in Japan to Brazil's pisadeira, each describing eerily parallel sensations of pressure and presence. Cultural anthropologist David Hufford explored these cross-cultural narratives extensively in his book, The Terror That Comes in the Night, proposing that these universal experiences point to a deeper psychological or possibly metaphysical phenomenon beyond mere neurological misfirings. The hypnagogic state also frequently involves perceptions of intense light or color. Reports of flashing lights, swirling patterns, or glowing orbs are common, regardless of age or cultural background. Neuroscientists at Stanford have linked these visual phenomena to spontaneous activity in the visual cortex, yet they acknowledge the difficulty in explaining the striking uniformity of what individuals report seeing. Carl Jung suggested these visual elements might represent archetypal symbols emerging from humanity's collective unconscious, a shared psychic reservoir of symbolism present across cultures. This theory remains influential among researchers exploring altered states of consciousness. Another enigmatic dimension of hypnagogia is the widespread experience of distorted time perception. Brief seconds can feel like minutes or even hours. A study published in Consciousness and Cognition, 2015, found that participants routinely overestimated the length of hypnagogic experiences, suggesting that the brain's internal time-tracking mechanism becomes disrupted at sleep onset. But why the brain produces such vivid and emotionally charged perceptions during these altered moments remains unclear. Sleep paralysis, closely related to hypnagogia, also invites comparison. Though a distinct phenomenon, marked by the temporary inability to move, sleep paralysis similarly evokes shared imagery, such as shadowy figures or pressure sensations. This overlap hints that hypnagogia and sleep paralysis might share underlying mechanisms that blur the boundary between the neurological and the inexplicable. Despite numerous scientific studies offering partial explanations, the striking similarities of hypnagogic experiences across millions of individuals remain puzzling. Neuroscience sheds light on which parts of the brain activate during these moments. Yet it can't fully address why people separated by continents and centuries encounter nearly identical experiences. Such mysteries push us to reconsider our understanding of consciousness, whether these nightly phenomena represent purely neurological events or point toward deeper layers of reality, barely understood and yet universally shared. Hypnagogia challenges the straightforward notion that consciousness emerges entirely within the brain. Scientists and philosophers increasingly question whether the brain generates consciousness or merely filters it, allowing glimpses into deeper states when ordinary cognition relaxes its grip. Philosopher and cognitive scientist Bernardo Kastrup argues that consciousness might exist independently of the brain, with our neural structures acting as receivers, similar to radios tuning into signals from elsewhere. This theory gains traction when examining altered states, such as hypnagogia, meditation, or near-death experiences, moments when consciousness vividly continues even as ordinary brain functions diminish. Neurological studies conducted by the University of Liège indicate parallels between near-death experiences, NDEs, and hypnagogic phenomena, including time distortion and heightened sensory perceptions. Both states provoke similar brain patterns, reinforcing theories that consciousness can exist beyond purely neurological processes. The relationship between quantum physics and consciousness also provides intriguing perspectives. Nobel laureate Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff proposed a quantum theory of consciousness, suggesting that awareness arises from quantum processes occurring in the brain's microtubules. Although controversial and speculative, their hypothesis opens a conversation about consciousness existing as a fundamental component of the universe, rather than merely a biological byproduct. Under this framework, altered states like hypnagogia might offer brief windows into consciousness as a quantum-level phenomenon, momentarily breaking through the boundaries imposed by our typical waking state. Ancient spiritual traditions appear to resonate with these scientific theories, particularly regarding meditation and dream practices. Tibetan dream yoga explicitly trains practitioners to consciously navigate the hypnagogic state, accessing deep insights often described as transcendent or mystical. Similarly, shamans across indigenous cultures intentionally utilize this state, perceiving it as a direct entry point into hidden aspects of reality, suggesting a long-standing recognition of hypnagogia's potential as a doorway rather than a neurological quirk. Studies comparing hypnagogia to psychedelic experiences add further support. Research at Johns Hopkins University found significant overlap in neural signatures between sleep onset and states induced by psychedelic substances, including heightened connectivity across different brain regions. These altered states, despite different triggers, similarly blur distinctions between self and external reality, hinting that consciousness might inherently possess layers accessible only under particular neurological conditions. While neuroscience can precisely describe which brain regions become active or dormant during hypnagogia, it struggles to fully explain why certain perceptions appear universal or why these states profoundly shift our sense of self and reality. The consistency and complexity of hypnagogic experiences across individuals worldwide suggest that they aren't merely random neurological events. This intersection of scientific observation, spiritual tradition, and philosophical theory challenges traditional assumptions about consciousness. The hypnagogic state may not simply reflect the brain winding down, but instead reveal an entirely different dimension of human awareness, one where our ordinary perceptions of reality break down, opening pathways to deeper insights and unexplored realities. Every night, as sleep gently claims us, consciousness quietly slips into a realm far stranger and more magnificent than science or philosophy can fully explain. In these delicate moments, reality dissolves, replaced by worlds rich with wonder, intuition, and possibility. It's here, in this subtle space between waking and dreaming, that something incredible unfolds. Your mind reveals itself as more expansive, mysterious, and powerful than everyday life allows. Within you lies the innate capacity to explore these hidden layers of reality, to access insights and experiences usually reserved for mystics, visionaries, and dreamers. You're not alone in sensing this potential. You're part of an extraordinary community of consciousness seekers, dream explorers, and curious minds who refuse to accept the ordinary as the full extent of human experience. Here at Beyond Reality, we celebrate the beauty and depth of consciousness, discovering together how science, philosophy, and personal experiences converge in remarkable ways. Our journey is an ongoing exploration into the realms beyond conventional understanding, expanding what we know and how we experience our lives. Join our community by subscribing now, and together we'll continue uncovering the awe-inspiring secrets hidden just beyond the threshold of ordinary awareness. And if you're ready for your next adventure into the mysteries of the universe and consciousness, click on one of the videos on your screen and dive into another astonishing exploration. Thanks for watching.